As we head into week 3, this is your waiver wire show. What's going on, guys? I'm Dustin. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Before we get into it, just a quick moment of silence for all you Jamal Charles owners. It's a tough break, but who do you pick up if you got a good waiver number? Let's talk about that. In a standard league, I like Thomas Jones. I think he's going to get more carries, including the goal lines. But in any type of PPR league, give me McCluster. I really like his upside. Look, he's small. Yes, he's fumbled each of the first 2 games. But here's the deal. He's got wide receiver running back eligibility. He's good for probably 12 to 15 touches a game. He's got big play potential. And if he continues to do the kickoff duties, he can give you a bonus there in leagues that count return yards. I think he's kind of a similar style runner as Charles, just one of those young, smaller, quick guys. I think he's going to fit right in with a lot of the plays that they had set up for him. I think they're going to get the ball in his hands a lot, and I think he could have some big games. I like McCluster as a pickup in PPR leagues. But there is one guy that is available in about half the leagues that I would pick up over both of those guys, and that's Daniel Thomas. Someone please explain to me why he's only owned in about 55% of leagues. That's ridiculous. This guy was drafted by the Dolphins as the potential running back of the future. He's the backup for one of the most brittle running backs in the NFL. Now, I am a Reggie Bush believer as far as getting involved in the passing game and having value in PPR leagues, but Daniel Thomas is clearly the long-term guy to own this season, and we all saw what he did week 2. He needs to be picked up in absolutely all the leagues, and I would pick him up over both the Kansas City running backs. All right, another guy that's must add in all leagues, Devery Henderson, only on about 65% of leagues, 2 straight solid games. Matchups coming up against Houston and Jacksonville. It just keeps getting better and better with him. Ride this out while you can until Colston gets back. Henderson could be in line for a couple more big games. Moving on, Ben Tate. Foster aggravated his injury, could be out, maybe another game, maybe 2. Ben Tate needs to be picked up for all you Foster owners as a handcuff, or if you're just looking for a temporary solution with your running backs. Another running back that I'm shocked to see is only owned in 70% of leagues is James Starks. He's slowly taking more and more carries away from Grant. He's looked way better than Grant. That's a high-powered Green Bay offense. Of course, you're going to want to have the guy that's going to get the most carries on that offense. Starks needs to be owned in absolutely all leagues at this point. Moving on, another guy who I think is a must-add for running backs is Carter out in Indianapolis. He's only owned about 20% of leagues right now, which is kind of surprising. I think as the season goes on, he's slowly going to get more carries. Right now, he's already in about a 50-50 split with a die. I think Carter continues to get more and more carries as the Colts have less and less to play for. All right, let's talk about some guys that in deeper leagues, and we'll start with Jerome Simpson, one of my boys out there in Cincinnati. We were high on him coming into the year. I'm not quite ready to call him a must-add just yet, but he has proven he's one of Andy Dalton's favorite targets. Couple decent games in a row. I like him moving forward. I think he'll be a little streaky, but I think the Bengals offense will get better as the year goes on. Moving on, we got Roy Helu for the Redskins, only on about 25% of leagues. He looked great with his limited touches week 2. Now, I'm not saying I'm not a Hightower believer, but I do think Helu could end up taking more and more carries from Hightower as the season goes on and could maybe be the most valuable Redskins running back when it counts the most. I think he's got that kind of upside. He needs to be on just in case. Another guy that's really worth adding right now is Eric Decker for Denver, wide receiver. Eddie Royal out with an injury. He said it's probably going to miss maybe even up to a month with a groin pull. This is going to open the door for Decker to really show what he's got. Great game week 2. I love Decker as a wide receiver short-term solution, and he could even end up holding on to that job even when Eddie Royal comes back. All right, a few more guys to talk about our must-adds in deeper leagues. First one's Murray for the Cowboys. Jones has a separated shoulder, might miss some time. It's going to be a timeshare between Choice and Murray, but I think Murray will have the goal lines, giving him a little bit more value. So I like Murray as a pickup. Another guy's Nelson for the Bills. He's looked really great as a wide receiver 2 out there for the Bills. At the last 3 games of last year, had a touchdown in each of the 3 games. He's kind of carried some of that momentum onto this year. The Bills have just looked amazing on offense. They've looked really in sync. They've looked great. They put up a ton of points. So Nelson, number 2 guy out there, has potential of having some value. Another guy who could have some value short term is Ogletree for the Cowboys. Looks like Miles Austin's going to miss the next couple of games. I'm not totally sold on him, but I do think Ogletree could have a little bit of value for short term if you need help at wide receiver. One defense I like for you to pick up, and that's San Francisco. They're going up against my Bengals week 3. I think this is going to be the true test for the Bengals offense. They're going to play a tough D that can get pressure on the quarterback. I'm just not sure how they're going to do. I like San Francisco as a pick up and play defense. And one other guy we're going to talk about, and this is a guy I think you should just be keeping an eye on at this point. That's Denarius Moore, the wide receiver for Oakland. He looked great week 2. He had one of the best catches you'll see all year. Absolutely amazing touchdown catch. But it is just so crowded out there with the Oakland wide receivers. And I'm just not sure if Moore's going to be able to stay on the field when all those guys are healthy. Now, if there's a big injury out there, I think he's a must-add in deeper leagues. But as of now, I think you got to hold off because I'm just not sure he's guaranteed playing time. So this is just a portion of the Week 3 waiver wire. To see the full list, get onto the site, FantasySmackTalk.com. And as always, get in those forums, and we'll see you later this week.